In this video, I'm going to show you how to unbrick a Xiao module. But of course, in order to show you how to unbrick it, I have to brick it first. And I'm going to show you a surefire way of bricking it, which means don't do this. Now, in order to do that, and to show you how to brick it, I want to go back to some code that we showed initially when we looked at the analog write function, which is basically turning the DAC off and on. We look at some of the signals from that DAC. So here's the code that we've had before, and I'm going to comment out some of the lines here that we're not going to use, and literally all we're going to do is turn the analog write, the DAC, on at, I think it's set for 2 volts is the voltage value. Yep, here it is. We're going to turn it on at 2 volts. We're going to turn it off. We're just going to toggle it as fast as it'll go, and we're going to comment out everything else. So all these guys here, we're going to comment this out, and then later I'm going to show you how we can use the tab function in order to not just comment things out, but move things over to functions that will be cleaning up the workspace that we've got, and we'll write just functions from now on. But for now, I'm just going to comment it out. And this is going to turn the DAC pin 0 on. I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to do an analog write. It's pin 0, and I want 0 volts coming out. This is just going to toggle it off and on, off and on, off and on. Okay, let's run it, and then we're going to look at the output voltage, which should be, kind of a square wave with a 2 volt peak to peak, 0 to 2 volts, and we'll look at the features of it a little bit. So let's upload the code, say compile, 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 and we'll get the upload, 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 and it's done uploading. And now if we look at that analog voltage coming out, we ought to see a nice analog voltage. And let's see. Hey, there we go. And you can see on the scope, nice analog voltage. It's that square wave. Well, not quite a square wave because there's a finite slew rate for the DAC. And you can see here, let's see, we'll increase the scale a little bit. It's about, if we had to guess here, it's about a division. It's 2 volts. That's the voltage swing in a little under a microsecond. So it's about 2 volts per microsecond is the slew rate for the DAC. Good number to keep in mind. That says that, full scale, we want to wait at least we turn the DAC on, turns on over here. We want to wait at least 2 microseconds before we assume that the DAC has stabilized to the final voltage. So keep that in mind if we're looking at some transient responses. We want to wait at least 2 microseconds so that we're sure we have a stable voltage on the output of the DAC. And likewise, the fall time. Again, it's about a microsecond, in this case at 2 volts. So given ourselves 2 microseconds to settle at the high side, 2 microseconds to settle at the low side, there'll be plenty of time going forward. But you notice that we've got this kind of funny ghosting going on. We got our nice clean signal, but we got all these other little bits of signal coming through. It's like the on time, sometimes it's lasting longer and the off time is lasting longer as well. And that's because during this operation, the Xiao module sometimes looks to scan all the IOs, look for interrupts. And that means that it's taking longer to execute some of the lines here. It'll run this, and then it'll go look for interrupts. That'll be on longer than here, or it'll look for interrupts when it's over here. It'll be on or off for a longer period of time. We see the ghosting. We can eliminate that problem by telling the Xiao, hey, don't look for interrupts. The command is no interrupts. But the USB commands on the Xiao also use interrupts. And so if we tell the Xiao module, hey, turn off interrupts, it will forget how to use the USB port. And that means it won't communicate with the USB port and it'll brick. Let's do that. So we're going to go to type in the command. The command is no interrupts. Oops, too many R's. Interrupts. And that tells the Xiao module, hey, don't look for interrupts. Just do what I'm telling you to do. And I'm going to upload this code and watch what happens. Because when I do this, it's going to interfere with the communication of the USB port. I'm going to lose connection with the USB port. So I'm uploading it. It's now running on the Xiao module. And look at that beautiful waveform that I've got on the output of the DAC. that, wow, I have nice beautiful signal. I don't have any ghosting going on. It's looking great. The problem is that, I disabled the port. I don't even see the module anymore. I can't upload code to it. I've bricked the module. And I can turn it off and on, and I can do whatever resetting I want to do, and there's nothing I'm going to do that's going to change what's going on the Xiao module. Unfortunately, this module is now bricked. And it's running the code, and I can't do anything about it. So what I have to do is set the Xiao module back to the factory state of the bootload. And to do that, remember I mentioned those reset pins, the pads. These are the two pads right here. I have to short them together twice in rapid succession, and that will reset the Xiao module to the factory default, turn off the code I'm running, which has the no interrupts in it, and set it up so the interrupts are working again. The first time I click it, it does a reset and says, okay, start the program over again. And then if I can do it a second time in within about a half a second or so, then it'll say, okay, 2 resets in a short period of time, go back to bootload case, factory default, and now it's ready to run all over again. So the way I short them, you can use 2 wires, or I just have a pair of tweezers here, and I'm going to come in, I'm going to short the 2 pads together, and watch the lights here. I'm going to do it once, twice. And you can see the yellow light flashing. So I've now reset the Xiao module into the factory reset condition. Now it's going to be back to normal. And if I come over here to so when I come over here under Tools, I look under Port, and look, I've got my port back again. So I go to COM6. Now I want to be really careful. If I run this code again, I'm going to have the same problem. I'm going to upload code that turns off the interrupts. And so I want to be careful. In fact, I'll comment it out, and we'll do it one more time. I can upload this code. First of all, let's see what's running on the Xiao module. I should not see the analog output going. And sure enough, because after all, I've reset the code. So I've got my scope probe plugged back in. I'm not seeing anything because there's no code running, basically. I'm going to upload this code. This is going to cycle the DAC output. I'll see that signal coming out, but I'm going to have the ghost imaging because it's going to be doing that little bit of interrupting. And here we go, uploading, and there it is. And so it's working just fine. If I were to go ahead and turn on the no interrupt command, and now I upload this, I'm going to go back into, I'll turn off the interrupts, it'll run, but it won't recognize the USB port anymore. So we upload, it just reset, and now it's running the new code. Beautiful, looks great. Don't have the ghosting, not running interrupts, but I've also lost connection with the port. And so the way around that problem, of course, is I'm going to come in to my module. I'm going to come into the module. I have to get rid of the scope probe here. I'm going to gotta do it twice in rapid succession. Let's check and see. I shouldn't see anything coming out of this guy. And sure enough, nothing's coming out. I'm back into the original factory default condition. And let's see. And I've got my port back again. I can select it. And I want to be sure. I'm not going to even comment. I'm going to get rid of this guy because I don't want to use it again. And now if I upload, we've got the probe stuck in here. The code is uploading, and we'll see our analog signal coming out again. So it's easy to sometimes get it to brick. One way of doing that routinely is to put no interrupts in there. That will get it to brick for sure. But it's also easy to unbrick it. It's just shorting the two reset pins together in twice in rapid succession, and that automatically unbricks it. But just be aware of what the condition was that bricked it. So far, I've only found the interrupts that does it. There may be a case where there's poor communication over the USB ports, in which case I think just rerunning the code works fine. Every now and then you'll get a 2-bit error in some of the communication back and forth, and that will hang it up. Unplugging, plugging it back in will fix that problem. That's different from bricking. If you lose port information, then you gotta do this reset trick, and that will reset the Xiao module back to factory default, and it will understand how to talk over the USB port. Okay, so bricking should never be a problem anymore. Pay attention to it. If you lose information about the port, then just go ahead and push the reset twice, and that will fix the bricking problem.